Tisha, this past Sunday, you were featured on TV One's Uncensored series where you were raw, honest, and real.
Martin called me the day after I separated to just, I felt, completely exposed.
Tisha Campbell is speaking openly about her past with Duane Martin, and her comments are getting plenty of attention. After Duane reportedly became engaged to Ashley Jones, people immediately started comparing Ashley to Tisha. Some fans even said they look alike, while others began wondering what Tisha might think about Duane starting a new chapter. Tisha has not exactly stayed silent about her former marriage. Over the years, she has talked about the difficult moments she experienced and how much her life changed after the relationship ended. Some of the claims connected to their marriage have been serious, but it is important to remember that many of the allegations made by both sides have been disputed. Tisha and Duane were married for more than 2 decades and share 2 sons. They got married on August 17, 1996, during a time when both were building their careers in Hollywood. For a while, they looked like one of those celebrity couples who had managed to survive the pressure of fame. But behind the scenes, their relationship was going through problems. Financial stress became one major issue. In 2016, the couple faced a high-profile bankruptcy involving millions of dollars in debt. Tisha later accused Duane of hiding money during that difficult period, adding more tension to an already troubled marriage. Duane's side of the story has been different, and not every accusation...
Light liquor. Because then Duane won't see how much you're drinking during the night. He thinks it's water.
Really?
Made during their legal battles has been proven as fact. By 2018, the couple had separated, and their relationship became increasingly complicated. Tisha later spoke about feeling emotionally overwhelmed and said she had experienced physical, mental, and emotional abuse during the marriage. Those were extremely serious allegations, and Duane denied wrongdoing. Their legal conflict continued into 2019. After Tisha made allegations about their relationship, Duane responded by raising concerns about her parenting. Court documents reported at the time showed that he questioned whether their son was keeping up with schoolwork while in Tisha's care. He also wanted changes to the arrangements they had for exchanging their children. The conflict became so serious that Tisha was granted a restraining order that required Duane to remain a certain distance away from her while their legal matters continued. Their divorce was eventually finalized in 2020. For Tisha, the end of the marriage appeared to bring a sense of relief. She later explained that she had spent so many years focused on being a wife and mother that she needed time to figure out who she was outside of that relationship. That period became an important part of her personal growth. Tisha has said that she felt happier after leaving the marriage. She talked
Mostly when I talked about me being raped, it was for people who would pay attention to their children.
About spending more time with her children, focusing on herself, and learning things about her own strength that she had not recognized before. She described herself as resilient and said that difficult experiences helped her understand just how much she was capable of handling. The actress also reflected on how young she was when she first started carrying major responsibilities. She said she had been helping with bills and family responsibilities from a very early age. Because of that, learning to simply be herself was a major adjustment. While Tisha was rebuilding her life, another celebrity story became connected to the situation. Lisa Ray McCoy publicly discussed her own troubled marriage to Michael Missick. She claimed that Duane had played a role in introducing her then-husband to other women. Lisa Ray suggested that these actions contributed to problems inside her marriage. When Tisha heard Lisa Ray's story, instead of criticizing her, she supported her decision to speak honestly. The 2 women appeared together on Instagram and showed public support for one another. Tisha praised Lisa Ray for sharing her experience and made it clear that their conversation was not about humiliating anyone. She said it was about women being able to tell their stories and support each other after painful...
To be quite honest, then he became friends with Duane Martin, which used to be one of my friends on All of Us. And when I introduced them, that was one of the worst things I ever did.
...experiences. Tisha also explained that she did not know about Duane's alleged involvement in Lisa Ray's marriage while she was still married to him. She appreciated the fact that Lisa Ray did not hold her responsible for whatever may have happened. Over the years, there have also been rumors involving Duane and other famous people. Some stories have mentioned his friendship with Will Smith, including claims that the two spent time together in Trinidad. Other rumors suggested that Jada Pinkett Smith was unhappy about how close Will and Duane were. However, those stories have circulated mainly as rumors, and there is not enough reliable evidence to treat every part of them as established fact.
Right now, I'm so proud of you.
Because we got to stick together.
Another major chapter in Tisha's life involves Martin Lawrence. Tisha and Martin became famous together through the sitcom Martin. Their chemistry on the show made them one of television's most memorable comedy duos. But their relationship away from the cameras later became complicated after allegations were made against Lawrence in the 1990s. The situation eventually became public, and the two stopped working together for a period of time. Years later, however, they were able to reconnect. Martin has spoken positively about Tisha in more recent years, saying that he still has love and respect for her. Their ability to move forward showed that painful history does not always have to define the future. For Tisha, healing from her divorce became part of her creative work. She appeared in the Netflix series Uncoupled alongside Neil Patrick Harris. The show centers on a man whose long-term relationship unexpectedly ends after many years. Suddenly, he has to rebuild his life and figure out what comes next. For Tisha, the story had a familiar feeling. She had personally experienced what it was like to spend decades with someone and then suddenly find herself starting over. She explained that divorce can make a person feel lost because the life they expected to have no longer looks the same. But she also emphasized that people can survive that pain. Sometimes losing a relationship forces a person to discover strengths they never knew they had. That seems to be one of the biggest lessons Tisha has taken from her experience. Instead of allowing the divorce to completely define her, she focused on her career, her children, and her own happiness. She continued acting, performing, and taking on new projects. Tisha has had a long career in entertainment. She became a household name through Martin and later appeared in films, television shows, stage productions, and music-related projects. Her career has lasted for decades, proving that she is much more than the drama surrounding her personal life. Still, fans continue to debate her marriage to Duane. Some people believe Tisha's version of events and feel that she endured more than the public realized. Others think that both sides contributed to the problems and that viewers should be careful about choosing one person's story without knowing everything that happened privately. That is especially important when discussing allegations involving someone's personal life. Claims made during a bitter divorce can become part of the public conversation very quickly, but that does not automatically make every statement a proven fact. Now, Duane is reportedly preparing for another marriage with Ashley Jones, and that has brought the old story back into the spotlight. People are naturally curious about what Ashley thinks after hearing everything that has been said about Duane's past. Will she ignore the criticism and move forward with her relationship? Will she speak publicly, or will the constant attention eventually become too much? At this point, nobody outside the relationship can know what Ashley is truly thinking. What we do know is that Tisha and Duane's marriage had many difficult moments, including financial problems, legal disputes, parenting disagreements, and public accusations from both sides. After more than 20 years together, their relationship ended, and both eventually moved forward with separate lives. For Tisha, the biggest change appears to have been learning to put herself first. She's talked about rediscovering her identity, becoming more confident, and finding happiness in being a mother and an individual. Her story shows that starting over after a long relationship can be painful, but it can also become the beginning of a completely different life. As for Duane and Ashley, their future is their own to decide. The public may speculate, fans may debate, and old stories may continue resurfacing, but only the people involved know what happens behind closed doors. So, What do you think about this entire situation? Do you believe Tisha's account of her marriage, or do you think both sides should be heard before anyone makes a final judgment? Share your thoughts in the comments, and thanks for watching.